Hello, 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 BSR Nation. Welcome to Everland, home of the Ponderosa. If you heard that strange screeching noise just a moment ago, that's probably part of our mystery. Today, this video will be titled Mischief, or something like that. So, do you guys remember when one morning I came out and these two chairs that used to be right there were moved. They were moved up and one in front of the other. And then all of this was knocked over. Okay. So today we're going to examine something. I have to show you something. If you recall, there's a strange cave. There's a cave system right, let's see, right over there. See it? That's the large cave. And then there's a system of connecting caves to it. And then there's a path that leads from it. The path does not go down to the stream. It goes up. There, I can show it to you. There's one that goes up and back that way. And the other one is on the other side. You can see that. Okay, so that's part of our mystery. We don't know what made the cave, and we don't know what lives in the cave system. But we do know that almost all of the squirrels disappeared, and all of the wildlife that used to be back here or come back here disappeared. All right. Then also, you recall when I told you one evening I sat in those chairs that I showed you, minding my own business. And suddenly I heard all the animals that used to be out here, frogs, squirrels, and birds. That evening it was the frogs mostly. And they all got silent suddenly. And the cicadas. Can you believe that? The cicadas got silent. They went silent for, I would say 8 seconds or 10. And then they started making their sounds again. So shortly thereafter, as I sat in those chairs, I was in that green chair, minding my own business. Then all of a sudden, I heard a deep breath, like it breathed in like this, like it said, and then I heard a low guttural growl. It was very low. I can't even make that sound. And I thought it was Ginger, who was up on the deck. But no, alas, when I looked up there, she was low to the floor. And she wasn't saying a word. And she's an Akita, for Pete's sake. Okay. So I didn't know what that could be. I still don't know what it was. I do know that it came from the orchard. Right there where you see, it was on the other side of that Japanese maple. And I still don't know what it was. Was it an alligator? Because I learned they can actually make those sounds. I didn't even know that they made those guttural growls, but they do. And I hope it wasn't an alligator. I haven't seen any signs of one. Not that I know of. But anyway, I digress. So since I have the cave out here and there was mischief in the yard, I decided, I found this sign right here up at the antique store. So for fun, I decided, go ahead and, why don't I just go ahead and put this sign out there? Because I don't walk that far. I have a windmill basically to tell me how far to go and where not to go, but I put this sign out here. All right. So as you know, I have a few fruit trees, and this apple tree had 7 apples on it. As the apples started to ripen and fall off, I took them in the house, but I noticed that 2 of the apples that I had gathered were getting soft. So I decided I didn't want to really eat that one because I don't even really like apples that much, so I just was not inclined to eat a soft, mushy apple. So I decided, why not bring those apples out here and put them back there for the squirrels. Maybe I could attract some squirrels to come back, or maybe the rickety coons that used to come up here, maybe they'll get them and eat them. So I placed them in a plastic container, and I had noticed that down this path, that these right here, something or someone had placed these, had broken these branches. This was once like a whole branch, but they broke it, and they had actually laid it in a square shape. So I said, why not just put them right there? I put the apples right in the center of what used to be a square shape. Okay, 3 days later, when I remembered that I put it out here, I came out here to see if any animals had gotten the apples, and they had. The apples were gone, and the container was still here. All right, so I took it in the house. I took the container inside. So that brings us to yesterday. So yesterday, when I came out here to check it all out, these were still in a square, but as you can see, they're not anymore. These are still where they were, but this one is way over here, and that one is way over there, and then there are these 2 stones these weren't there before, because I would have known these are pretty, and I would pick them up, but no, I'll leave them right here. I'm not going to pick them up, and I'll show you why. So I don't know who did this or what did it. I have kids next door. They're outdoorsmen, but I don't think they did this because this happened during the night. So this tree right here, okay, granted, this is a dead tree. That was a part of this tree. You see? Well, wait a minute. Let me make sure. Is it this one? Or this one? I think it was part of this one. Okay? Because what I had done, I had taken this plant that grows tall like that. You see, it's so tall. All I do, because they're very pliable, is I take those branches and I bend them down and I make an archway. I had it connected to this. So like, see right here, I had it connected like to this, sort of. You see? You can see that one. It's easy to do. I just bend them down and they twist on their own, and I just wedge it on this. So yesterday morning when I came out, I find this. This tree right here had been snapped off right up here. Now, if this tree had fallen on its own, like in the wind or something, it would have, you see, it goes this way. It would have just landed over here. But somehow this tree got placed on top of that. See? You see it's on top of it. On top. It's pretty heavy too. It's a pretty heavy tree branch. So it got snapped off from here. And remember, the tree was growing that way. But somehow it got snapped off and placed on top of this archway. And as you can see, my lantern is laying there. And there's something else strange. I should have made this video yesterday, but I was a little molesto. It disturbed me a little bit. I almost didn't come out here today. Okay, so like I'm showing you, these were shaped as a box, a square. Today, they're not. And there are stones laying around it. And they're pretty too, but they weren't there. I know my yard. I know this forest. All right, so let me show you what I found in front of. Oh, here it is. It's still here. So yesterday morning, I find this right there at that light. Right there. And I'm thinking, who did that? I know I didn't do it. And where'd they come from? So I walk over here. Pay attention to this branch right here, the larger one. See? Larger. This, if you can notice, used to be one branch. One like it used to be like, I would say a 3-foot branch that was snapped in two recently. And when I say recently, I mean night before last. Then it was brought over here and placed in that X shape. And I said, where did that come from? So I look over here and I notice that the tip of this tree matches the brokenness of these. So tell me what you think. Let me know in my comments. I'm a little nervous. I almost said let me know in your comments. Let me know in the comments. Is this mischief? Or is it Mr.? All right. That's all for today. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. And above all things, stay prayed up and stay sprayed up.